Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Ongoing tensions between South African and foreign-born truck drivers could lead to a nationwide strike. According to some drivers, the takeover of routes and jobs has still not been addressed properly. Meanwhile, there have been several accidents involving trucks on the roads. What are the authorities doing to solve these issues? For this, we're joined by senior reporter Dasen Thathiah, who is actually going to give us a picture from the skies. Dasen, just to tell us exactly what you're seeing from where you are.
Well, Maseko, let me give you some of the context here. Early this morning, there were reports that the N3 was blockaded near, or rather between Warden and Villiers. And that was as a result of the truck drivers embarking on a strike. But they hadn't put a name to this. It was just regarded as the South African truck drivers. There was a flyer that was being distributed, and during the early hours they did carry out that threat. One of the items on that list, or the reason for this, was around the employment of foreign nationals as truck drivers. You know that, as you mentioned, this has been an ongoing issue. So that went on for quite a while. Authorities did respond. You'll see that they are still stationed here along the N3 in the Free State, and they were part of the contingent that was clearing up the roads. They had to pull off a few of the trucks that had blocked the freeway, so it completely stopped the flow of traffic between these two areas and between the cities as well. And as a result of that, they had to move in and make sure that they moved these trucks out. Now, what had happened here was that the drivers had converged on this area, and they were not claiming, or rather responding to questions around which are their trucks. For now, the latest report that we are getting says that one lane has been reopened on each side. You'll see some movement here, but there's still quite a bit of a backlog further on down the road here. There's a truck stop where some trucks have also parked off while this is ongoing. And as a result of this, it's severely hindered the movement and caused delays. And this being such an important trade route, it has really set back some of these companies and some of the movement of goods that we are seeing here. But Maseko, something else that was interesting that just came up a short while ago, we did see a statement that had come out from the Minister of Transport, Fikile Mbalula, and that statement was now withdrawn. The initial statement condemning the strike that we saw, and just a few seconds ago, before I crossed to you, we see that now that statement was withdrawn, and that was because apparently it was issued without the consent of the minister. So something strange there. Hopefully this remains the situation for now, but I can tell you that the initial warning that was issued said that this strike could potentially last for 3 days, the 14th, the 15th, and the 16th at least, and that was over those issues that I mentioned initially.
And Dasen, this is definitely going to affect traffic, especially looking at the fact that the 16th is a public holiday, and a lot of people might be wanting to use that route or whichever other route that will be affected by this, after giving themselves Friday extra to have a long weekend.
Definitely, and that's why this is critical. And these ongoing issues that have not been resolved are now coming to the fore again. But beyond what you're seeing here on the N3, obviously this is the most critical route when we're talking about truck blockades and when it stops the movement of goods. We've also been receiving reports of other interruptions in the flow of traffic around Durban, some in the Bayhead area, then near Pinetown, and I also saw a report of some traffic problems in the vicinity of Richards Bay. So what's making it difficult, Maseko, is that, again, no one is taking responsibility for this, so no one's taking credit for what they are doing here. It's just seen as a broad effort by South African truck drivers, and because of that, it makes it more difficult to police and more difficult to manage, because you're not exactly sure where it will turn up and when it will happen during the course of those days that were initially given, those 3 days that this is supposed to happen for.
All right, Dasen, let's leave it there for now. But of course, you'll be able to let us know if you see that backing up of traffic is becoming worse there. That is senior reporter Dasen Thathiah in the skies for us, showing us that truck drivers' nationwide strike. This has to do with what we've been reporting to you as eNCA for a couple of months now, with South African truck drivers saying that they are not preferred compared to their foreign national truck driver colleagues. and they're saying that South Africans should be considered first. But of course, Dasen will give us more details as and when he has more. Let's go.